Well, soon to be good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment. First, real brief disclaimer. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, all pertinent links will be right there in the description box for you. So should you like to do a deep dive on either of those subjects, you're definitely going to be able to do so. Excuse me, allergies. Pardon me, I do not know how to use the edit button to save my soul. Sorry about that. Trigger warnings. Alright folks, we do have this channel marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity, and when we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. So if you have a child that is 16 and younger and they are watching the channel, parental supervision, very much advised, alright? Other trigger warning. Allergies in Missouri right now are complete and utter hell. So you may hear all kinds of weird noises in the back of my throat. I apologize in advance. Alright, let's go here. Excuse me. To whom it may concern, I am writing to support the Food and Drug Administration proposal to ban electrical stimulation devices, ESDs, intended for self-injurious behavior or aggressive behavior. I, along with colleagues in the disability community, have long advocated that these practices are trauma-inducing and torturous practices must be abolished. To give you guys a clear idea of what they're talking about, we are now in the year of our Lord 2025. I began to know about the JRC and began getting into the fight back in 2008 before the video even came out. In fact, I found out about the whole thing on our big, basically neurodivergent version of X, which would be wrongplanet.net, was where I first heard about the fight to get the surveillance tape played in court for Andre McCollins during that time, to advocate for that, and that didn't happen until 2012. So when we tell you years, a lot of us at the very least have a decade in, if not more. I support the ban on ESDs that the FDA sought in 2020 and was disappointed when the decision was vacated by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, Circuit on July the 6th, 2021. Yeah, I ugly cried when I found out. The risks really are about as high as you can get. And hearing that news, well, there's a video of it showing me completely losing my shit, if you want to wonder what that looks like. Anyways, let me continue. Thankfully, in response to a wave of advocacy on this important issue, Congress took directive action to update the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, giving the FDA full authority to ban the use of ESDs. In other words, I will say it again, opening up the comments this time was a courtesy. So, why the JRC supporters are still sending the same novels, the same testimonies. Like, bro, we've heard it. Do you have any new evidence supporting your bizarre so-called treatment? No, it's irrelevant. But you haven't heard our side. We've heard all of your side repeatedly over multiple decades. We could probably quote it back to you all verbatim because you all follow the same formula. Diagnosis blaming, survivor blaming, and gaslighting. Alright? We've heard it. Stop. For the love of God. I urge the FDA to act quickly to finalize this proposal so that children and adults with disabilities no longer must suffer painful and dangerous electric shocks. Straight and to the point. You gotta love it. At least I do. Alright, we're going to go ahead and read the next one here. This one says, I support the proposed ban on non-consensual aversive devices. And quit saying, but the parent decree. Is the person that is wearing the device being able to make the decision on whether to wear the device or not? If the answer is no, but their parents, is not a proper answer and response. It's a yes or no question. And quite clearly, as we've seen through the years, the JRC does not give a single shit about the consent of any of their students in regards to any of the things that they do. So very obviously the answer is no, in case you are wondering. This brings the regulatory situation in line with what has been scientific and medical consensus for decades, that these devices are ineffective, very harmful, and may even worsen the problems that they are purported to address. May my ass. You go through trauma, you're going to have behaviors, neurotypical or neurodivergent. I am concerned that the narrow scope of the proposed ban may allow the same organizations that currently use these aversive devices to continue using them under a different rationale. Thank you. Somebody finally said it. Problem is, folks, the GED device is not the end-all be-all of the fight. It's just one of the primary focuses right now. JRC gets up to plenty dark, evil crap behind closed doors that don't necessarily involve the GED. So, more than likely, under some way, shape, or form, the aversive treatment that they do up there is going to continue. Which is why I continue to say repeatedly for almost the last 2 decades that it needs to be shut down entirely. Building bulldozed and maybe torched for good measure. Just saying. Hypothetically, if an organization that currently uses electric aversives for self-injurious aggressive behavior decides to continue using them, with the stated reason instead being for, say, preventing escape behavior, I fear the FDA might not be able to ban this without another rule change, even though the same harms apply. At the same time, there are apparently valid uses of electric aversive devices that are unlikely to be useful as loopholes, such as for smoking cessation, as suggested in the proposed rule. I suggest the FDA enacts its ban in a default deny way, that is, elective aversive devices would be banned for all uses except specific exceptions like smoking cessation. This would prevent potential loopholes without banning pre-existing non-harmful uses. Now, I could see that, but on the same end, can somebody tell me who is the person out there that is setting themselves up on a human shock device to shock themselves to stop smoking? Does that work? Or are you just harming yourself to stop from it? It's still the same logic. It still doesn't make sense. Just my opinion. And folks, I know it's short for the second one too, but on that note, we're going to go ahead and close out because the hanger is real. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments, and make sure that you are set up for notifications. We're going to be coming back Saturday for our next episode of Down the Rabbit Hole, and on Sunday for our next episode of the Snake Oil Salesman series. We don't want you missing anything. I appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you all next time, alright? Bye-bye now.